I was in the Middle East years ago. After I quit my show, I was trying to find out what I wanted to do with my life. And while I was there, Jimmy Carter flew to Israel. So everybody in the region was talking about a former American president being in the Middle East. And while he was in Israel, a book of his was released, and its title was very controversial in Israel. And the title of the book was Palestine, Peace, Not Apartheid. And people were very mad in Israel. There was a lot of mean stories that came out in the paper, but some people were supportive. And while he was there, Jimmy Carter said, I want to go to the Palestinian territory. And the Israeli government said it's too dangerous. And if you go, we cannot protect you. And man, Jimmy Carter went anyway. I will never forget the images of a former American president walking with little to no security while thousands of Palestinians were cheering him on. And when I saw that picture, it brought tears to my eyes. I said, I don't know if that's a good president, but that right there, I am sure, is a great man. It made me feel very proud. The presidency is no place for petty people. So Donald Trump, I know you watch the show. Man, remember, whether people voted for you or not, they're all counting on you. Whether they like you or not, they're all counting on you. The whole world is counting on you. And I mean this when I say this. Good luck. Please do better next time. Please, all of us, do better next time. Do not forget your humanity, and please have empathy for displaced people, whether they're in the Palisades or Palestine. Thank you very much, and good night.
I want to show a clip that I think can get us off to a good start in this trying to bridge some of these divides. Let's hear a little bit from Dave in your genre, as you say.
Full disclosure. You are poor. He's fighting for me.
I just think that's such a brilliant distillation of where we are. People don't know. You live in rural Ohio. People think of you as this urban legend, but you actually live in rural Ohio.
Yes, I do.
And now we're 2 years in. The economy has gotten better than it's continued to get better. What would you say to those folks who are still big Trump supporters today as we go into the midterms?
This is a tough question for me, Van. I got to tell you, first of all, the town that I live in is a small town.
Yes.
And it's like a little blue Bernie Sanders island in the Trump Sea. They love Donald Trump. I don't even know that they love him as much as they're frustrated, they're fed up, and a lot of these white people feel like their voices don't matter anymore. That their concerns aren't important or what have you. So, to be honest with you, in the name of safety, I wouldn't tell him anything about that guy. I don't believe that I'll change him by his mind or anything.
Right.
But for me personally, I get along with everybody, whether I agree with them politically or not.
Right.
But
I thought
when you're actually trying to pull this democracy together, keep it from getting torn apart, you have to talk to everybody. You have to listen to everybody.
That's right.
I was out on the Eastern Shore, and I was giving a speech. And a guy who voted for Trump asked me what I thought about Medicare for all. And I said, I support it. He said, well, what if they won't do it at the federal level? I said, then we'll do it at the state level. He said, then I'll vote for you.
Trump support.
Yeah, I said, and I kind of stood up straight. I said, you voted for Trump, and now you're going to vote for the former national president of the NAACP. I said, tell me why. He said, I'm a finance manager at a car dealership. My bottom line is my business and my people. Neither one of them gets healthier until we can get health care we can afford. And if he won't do it, and you will, then I'll vote for you.
There is this question, though, around Democrats versus Republicans. And you have people like Kanye West who's saying, listen, love you guys and Democrats.
Excuse me 1 second.
Why don't you get him on FaceTime?
You know where I'm going with this. Kanye says that, it's time out for Democrats. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that, first of all, Kanye is an artist, man.
Yes.
And he's a genius.
Absolutely.
Whatever he's saying right now, I think that the angle he's seeing things from is about the division that he sees. And he's not inconsistent with what he's saying. For instance, a decade ago, I read a quote where he said he wanted to take the Confederate flag and reappropriate it some other different kind of way. I mean, it's a MAGA hat, whatever, man. The thing that's scary about this presidency is after it. I don't know if you've been married before or had a girlfriend and said something in a fight that was so wrong, and then after that, we still family, we still around each other, but man, I sure did say all that shit, didn't I? And I'm not mad at Kanye. That's my brother. I love him. I support him. I buy his albums.
No claps. Oh, man, that was rough.
I know, whether people clap or not, But, I don't have to agree with everything that he says. I just trust him as a person of intent. Mm-hmm. But, he shouldn't say all that shit.
But let me take it on the argument then. So to take his personality out of it. What about the argument he's making, which is that, it's almost, you're in this PC prison, you can't say anything, and you're not allowed to vote for Republicans if you're African American. What's your argument to people who feel like it's time to give Republicans a chance? It's an argument being made by a minority.
But I'll say this: I'm not a partisan dude. If he ran as a Republican, I'd vote Republican. If I got a chance to vote for somebody like this, I'm voting for.
This isn't about party. This is about ideas.
That's right.
The ideas have kind of migrated from party to party. The Democrats used to be much more conservative. Today, however, unfortunately, there's only one party that stands for civil rights. There's only one party that stands for environmental protection. And we have to, as voters, really listen to the ideas. What I say to folks is that, look, the war on drugs has failed. Trickle-down economics has failed. We have to have the courage to put ideas on the table that actually lift up working families, white, black, brown, Native American, Asian American. We've got to move beyond the labels of party and look at ideas, but let's also be clear. Donald Trump's party is Donald Trump's party, and what they stand for right now, we have to fight with everything we have.
The other big issue, we're talking about race, talking about class, gender. We're now in a situation where a whole new set of voices is coming forward. How do you guys look at the role of this new movement for women's empowerment, the Me Too movement, et cetera?
I hope it succeeds. What we all have to realize is we all have to stand up in this moment and say that these women who have the courage to step forward, these men in many places, the courage to step forward who were sexually assaulted as well, we have to believe survivors. We have to have their back, and we have to figure out how we finally leap forward. Because we've been staying stuck for a long time. It shattered a lot of lives, and enough is enough.
Yeah, I think that for most men, especially the men that I'm talking to, one, I'll tell you that as a movement, it's effective. Like in Hollywood, the man, they are buttoning up.
Which is good.
Yeah,
good.
It's better than good. It's necessary. Two, I'll say that there's a lot of men that are learning for the first time the extent of the plight of the women in their lives.
We're just learning that consent is important. Most of our states, they don't teach consent when they teach sex ed. Think about that.
That's right. And this is a tough discussion, but it needs to be had.
Former President Jimmy Carter, may so rest in peace, was really an astonishing, I would say, an astonishing figure. He did a lot of great things. He was a president that was really out for peace. He never really never liked chaos. He was out to see people living in peace and not just living in peace, but also living in harmony. And that was something that made him very, very respectable in his community. He was somebody that was really, I would say, one of a kind human being. Really, really one of a kind human. Like, we did a lot of great work in Africa, and I remember I watched a video one time where he was I watched a video one time where he was greatly respected in Africa so much, like so very much. Mm, he was greatly respected so very much. Excuse. Such an astonishing such an astonishing and a, I would say, uh, such an astonishing and a remarkable figure he was. Very kind of an individual. Very kind and remarkable of an individual he is. Every president has his own pros and cons, right? They have their own personalities, the way they act, the way they do, the way they do the things they do, and some people like them, others don't like them. Some people envision them, others don't envision them. I would just say this at the end of the day. I would say this at the end of the day. I will say this at the end of the day. No person is perfect. Every person has their pros and cons. Every person has their pros and cons, and there are certain things you may like about one person that you may not like about the other. So that is what it is. At the end of the day, no person is perfect. Like, no person, you will never find a single person. If you're looking for a leader that is perfect, no. I think one of the leaders are a lot of people. One of the leaders One of the leaders that a I would say I think one of the leaders that a lot of people decided with, especially in this the 2024 election last year, is none other than President Donald Trump. And like a lot of people really wanted him to be president again, and it was something that people were really looking forward to. And guess what? He did become the president. So um, it's hard to find a leader that a lot of people to side with, a lot of people to agree with, and a lot of people to accept. So finding a leader like that, I can say, is pretty remarkable. Very very remarkable because it's rare. If you may ask me, very very rare, very very rare. If you may ask me, very very rare. It's very very rare to find a leader like this. And good luck to President Donald Trump and his cabinet. You know, good luck to them. Thank you, everyone.